Hey, Blake. It is 2 in the morning. Hopefully this does not wake you up. I want to start with an apology. Man, reading the second part of your message, my heart sank.
Have you ever wondered what happens when Hollywood's most powerful players try to cover up a scandal? What if an explosive conversation never meant to be heard suddenly surfaced, revealing the manipulations behind the scenes? That's exactly what happened when leaked audio exposed the dirty secrets of Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds' agent. What was supposed to be a private discussion turned into a revelation of power, influence, and controversy. And now the truth is out.
With what happened, that he and his PR team determined to bury her, to ruin her, and that this wave of bad press we did see.
The leaked audio captures the voice of Ari Emanuel, a top Hollywood agent who represents some of the biggest stars, including Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. In a shocking twist, Emanuel openly expressed his support for them while dismissing and ridiculing another client, Justin Baldoni. The conversation, which was mysteriously lost during a podcast recording, resurfaced through a secret recording. The implications of this audio are massive, exposing favoritism, bias, and the lengths Hollywood elites go to protect their interests.
Even the strongest celebrity couples can get a little tense with one another under the bright lights. We asked a lip reader what seemed to be getting under Ryan Reynolds' skin at a recent red carpet event with his wife, Blake Lively. Reynolds and Lively have been together for more than 12 years, an eternity in Hollywood time, and they're still going strong, but photographers captured a bit of tension between.
What makes this revelation even more unsettling is the sheer coincidence, or perhaps the calculated effort, that led to the audio supposedly not being recorded. The podcast host claimed that the equipment malfunctioned, resulting in no audio or video being saved. But as we now know, someone in the room had the foresight to record it themselves, and thanks to them, we get to hear exactly what was said, unfiltered and unedited.
Ryan doesn't care about party, he doesn't care about, which company it is. He fights for the ostracized loner who's getting dumped on by these companies, which leads us to the Blake Lively situation. Now, she would say in this situation, she's the victim, Baldoni's the bad guy. And just to lay it out for the audience in a little bit more detail, what she's claiming is that even though she was a much bigger star than Justin Baldoni, who I never heard of before this lawsuit, she's the much bigger star, and she's married to an even bigger star than she is, Ryan Reynolds, that she came in and onto this project and
Emanuel's statements paint a picture of an industry where loyalty is determined by power rather than fairness. He blatantly dismissed Baldoni, referring to him in a demeaning way, while continuing to champion Lively and Reynolds. His words reveal a mindset where status and influence dictate who is protected and who is sacrificed. The question now is, how deep does this favoritism go, and how many others have suffered similar treatment? The moment Emanuel said, "I fired him," it was clear that Baldoni had been abandoned. But why? Was it because Lively and Reynolds pressured him? Did Baldoni challenge something that powerful people didn't want exposed? The leaked audio suggests that Emanuel made a calculated decision to protect his highest-profile clients, regardless of what was fair or ethical.
Tonight, the publicist accused of helping orchestrate a smear campaign against Blake Lively after the actress complained of sexual misconduct on the set of her latest film says there was no such smear campaign. Publicist Jennifer Abel represents director and actor Justin Baldoni.
Another chilling aspect of the audio is the way Emanuel casually dismisses concerns about the truth. He implies that Baldoni should simply stop defending himself, as if justice and fairness no longer matter in Hollywood. The arrogance in his tone suggests a man who believes his decisions are final and unquestionable. It's a stark reminder of how the industry often works behind closed doors.
And that when she then demanded that all of her concerns be rectified, that he did it, but that he was basically lying in wait for when the film would get released in case she went public with what happened, that he and his PR team determined to bury her, to ruin her, and that this wave of bad press we did see about Blake Lively when the film came out this past summer was not organic. It was totally orchestrated by Justin and his team, and they've gotten their hands on a bunch of texts, especially amongst the PR team, but a couple involving Justin.
Then there's the issue of the missing podcast recording. How does an entire show featuring one of Hollywood's most powerful agents simply vanish? The odds of such an error happening on a professional production are slim. Emmanuel was about to say something that could land him in serious trouble, yet, conveniently, no recording exists. If not for the journalist who secretly recorded the conversation, we would have never known what was said.
Accused him and a producer of sexual harassment while they worked on the movie It Ends With Us, which, by the way, is about domestic violence. On Friday, Lively filed a civil rights complaint accusing Baldoni of sexual harassment and retaliation. The New York Times obtained...
In the leaked conversation, Emmanuel tries to frame Lively and Reynolds as untouchable figures, actors who have never been involved in controversy. But is that really the case, or is it simply that their scandals have been carefully hidden? The way Emmanuel talks about them suggests they have enough power to make problems disappear, and that's a frightening thought.
They were ready to, quote, destroy her and to ruin her reputation. But I'll say one thing. The evidence that then they actually did it is far less fruitful, right? The text about, like, we could, here's what we might do if we need to, those are everywhere. The text proving they did, far less ubiquitous in this complaint.
This also raises questions about Hollywood's culture of silence. If Emmanuel was willing to go this far to protect Lively and Reynolds, how many other executives and agents do the same for their clients? How many people have been blacklisted, fired, or silenced because they weren't on the right side of power? The leaked audio is just one glimpse into a system built on secrecy.
Don't even believe the texts that you see in the Lively lawsuit, because they're seriously misrepresented, omitting major facts that would give them an entirely different meaning, never mind greater context. And that's where I want to bring you in. So tell us.
There's also something unsettling about the way social media is discussed in the recording. Emmanuel implies that it's dangerous when used by certain people, specifically those who challenge the status quo. He suggests that it's fine when celebrities use their platforms for their own benefit, but not when others use it to call out wrongdoing. It's a double standard that perfectly illustrates how control over narratives is maintained in Hollywood. If social media is so dangerous, why is it constantly used to shape public perception? Why is it acceptable for some to use it as a weapon while others are told to stop and let things play out in court? It's because social media has become one of the most powerful tools in the entertainment industry. And those in power don't like it when it's used against them.
Is a lot, right? Because Blake Lively's dominated the media. What they did was they worked with the New York Times. Her publicist worked directly with the New York Times. They shared illegally obtained text messages. They shared those together. They concocted a complaint that they filed with the Civil Rights Division. They omitted texts that would have provided context, texts that were in the exact same string that would have provided context of what was really going on. And in fact,
the way Emmanuel dismisses Baldoni's situation is particularly troubling. He implies that because Lively and Reynolds have been in Hollywood for a long time with no public scandals, they must be in the right. But longevity and reputation don't equate to innocence. Many powerful figures in Hollywood have avoided exposure for years, only for the truth to come out later. What if the truth about this situation isn't as clear-cut as Emmanuel wants it to be? What if Baldoni was actually wronged, but Hollywood's biggest names ensured his downfall before he could fight back? The leaked audio suggests that the decision to drop him wasn't based on fairness, but on keeping Lively and Reynolds happy.
Removed emojis from texts that show that there was satire and there was joking around by the PR crisis agents. I mean, the PR crisis agent was brought in because actually Blake Lively's publicist, Leslie Sloan.
This brings us to another disturbing reality: how Hollywood deals with allegations. Instead of letting legal proceedings take their course, powerful players often take matters into their own hands. They decide who gets to keep their career and who doesn't, long before any official verdict is reached. It's a dangerous precedent that can destroy lives without due process.
Justin. And all Justin wanted to do, and it's all through the text messages. If the New York Times apparently reviewed 1,000 or more pages of text messages, they would have seen it. Justin never wanted to hurt her, never wanted to be negative to her. He wanted to protect the film, he wanted to protect himself, and he wanted to protect her from making negative allegations about him that were made up. And
when Emmanuel says, "I fired him," he isn't just admitting to a business decision, he's exposing the way the industry operates. Stars with influence can make or break someone's career with a single phone call, and agents like Emmanuel are willing to comply if it means keeping their top clients happy. The leaked audio is a rare look at how these backroom deals play out.
Complaint then alleges after she complained, Baldoni and his team then tried to, quote, destroy Lively's reputation with a retaliatory social manipulation campaign. In a statement to CNN, Baldoni and Heath's attorney deny the claims, calling them completely false, outrageous, and intentionally salacious with an intent to publicly hurt and rehash a narrative in the media.
Even more disturbing is how casually Emmanuel talks about the situation. There's no hesitation, no second guessing. He speaks with confidence, as if he knows his decisions won't be questioned. It's the kind of arrogance that only comes from someone who believes they are untouchable. But thanks to this audio leak, the public now has a chance to judge for themselves. One thing is certain: Hollywood is watching. The entertainment industry thrives on public perception, and this scandal has put a spotlight on its darker side. The question now is whether anything will change, or if this will just be another story that gets buried under the next big headline.
Before Melissa Nathan, the crisis PR person, was hired, you can see Leslie Sloan planting stories. We have evidence of it. The young kids would call it receipts. We call it evidence. And it's all over the place. There are text messages that refute every single thing.
What do you think about this leaked audio? Are you surprised by how Hollywood operates behind the scenes? Let us know in the comments below. And if you want to stay updated on more shocking revelations, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a story. More explosive content is coming soon.